We did it! You can playtest it from the itch.io page right now. Just search for Antiqa. It's live! It's live now! Can you believe it? You're in the Discord for discussion about Antiqa and to report any bugs you might encounter. All links will be found in the description. Anyhow, let's see how we got here. In this first clip you can see me add some background music and animations made by Jannidraws. Sure to add some life to the game. And here we have the tiles now working correctly. Next step is to make them look better. And whoosh, with the magic of editing we have fancy tiles now. Found a few more bugs in the inventory system that's now fixed, but this clip shows the loot system is now working. Walls are up in the wall, and also blocks the tile. The above elevations are now hidden, if you walk on them or next to a door or window. A spawn of hunger is born when someone is cursed or willingly takes the gift from hunger. Demon of pain. Made a bunch of new equipment to add to the game. Also the boss health bar is inserted but having issues with the scaling again. More big changes. The entire encyclopedia in its first state has been added. Range attacks are now in the game, and the sprite rotates towards the target, looking good already in my opinion. Woodcutting, fishing and mining now exists in the game, and it also gives stuff here. And it also gives stuff on the skill experience. But you can now split items. I'm so happy to get to work with relatively little issue. Also cleaned up my inventory system, so I no longer get an aneurysm when I open a code. That's probably the best part. So let's get into the new map, shall we? Welcome to Noobyard, the new 4 times larger map. Let me give you a tour. Basic login UI is set up. There's also some error message if you try to register something that isn't allowed. The road hasn't always been full of successes, like the massive changelog in just this playtest release shows. If you want to read it all, I provided a text file with all patch notes in all releases, or you can simply pause the video now and read. Now let me go through a few for you. On stream. First, a quality of life thing to improve login process. Yes, today we're gonna play Antiqa. It's gonna game development much, hopefully. Just so if you press enter when you have logged in your character customization screen, you're gonna actually join the game. Fixing a bug where player lost connection to server while loading the map. We want to move this thing up to before or inside this. So that means every like 250 tiles processed is gonna process a frame in between. There we go, the background. I kind of like the background changing effect. That's kind of why I make the entire thing transparent as well, so you can see the map being loaded behind all the UI. I also hid the mana bar, since I don't have anything that uses mana currently. We're gonna take this one and move it up a bit, because the mana bar is now hidden. And then inventory aspect container is gonna be increased up here, so we got to have more room for inventories and stuff. But I do need to remember to upgrade the version number every time I do a new build nowadays. Because that's the kind of, it's a safe thing that if someone has a too old build and try to connect a new build and something kind of breaks, it's because that. So instead I can, during the login phase, it can say like, hey, your build is too old, you're not getting in. Throw you out again. Update it. Fixing the inventory again. Inventory is still freaking bugged. If I move it out, it updates that way, and if I move it back in, yeah, now it actually doesn't update. Okay, so we have a massive bug already. Nice. Freaking inventory systems. Had quite a few bugs in the shop as well, but I got fixed with some tinkering. The name label is invisible for some reason. Same for everyone else. No? So we should be able to enable that. And Riley should now hopefully have a visible name. Yeah, let's go. Riley, you have a name now. I think we're gonna decrease the movement speed of the frogs to 300. A bit too fast. Trading doesn't work. Why is the trading broken? Yes, actually I should return 0. Here it should be greater or equal to 0 instead. There we go. Yeah, I want to see if when I get closer with the server now, does the tree start spawning? They do. Why? 3 is the one we're using right now. Visible screen enabler 2D. Probably this one. Yeah. Let's see. This should now work to shop widget. Yeah, there we go. L27 trade. Look at that. 100 gold. We did it, boys. Okay, so that's probably the most effective way to earn money in this game. And some changes I also feel like mentioning. The dude now spins properly in the small loading screen. The server now writes info both if someone connects and if they join the game. And finally, this patch of trees I really thought was a cage, but you can enter it diagonally in the top east corner. Which led me to go through the map to make sure there was no inaccessible areas that I didn't intend. There were none, by the way. I also increased all the defensive stats on all items, since even with maxed out gear it took way too much damage. There's also been a lot of drop rate changes, most to make gold more common so it can compete with selling resources to Riley. Now, it's worth to mention that you should expect some lag, because what I use as a server is an old Lenovo laptop that is running a Linux version of the game. I printed a laptop stand so it takes less space and hopefully it will also help with cooling. I had quite some issues with setting up the server, so the first successful server test was actually run by a friend. He could open an Antiqa server that I could join, and that was a great success. But we also figured out that my internet provider gave me my IP address, which meant I could not open a port for outwards connection to me. So I called them, asked them to change it, and then I waited. Only took like a day or so, luckily. But the issues didn't end there. My friend still couldn't connect to my server, and it took sheer luck for me to figure out that I used the wrong port forwarding protocol. It was default as TCP, but had to be UDP for it to work. And now it works. Even had a friend from the USA connect to see that the even long distance connection works. And this is how it looks when a group of people play. Feels nice knowing that I made this. And yes, this is me. Playing on different accounts. Was it a struggle? Let me give you a gameplay overview. On your first login, you are met with this handy tutorial window that explains the basic controls. Move around with WASD, arrow keys, or the numpad numbers 8, 4, 2, and 6. Or by right-clicking the walls. There's a lot of movement options. It's down there. You can also move by left-clicking the world map. Will take a few seconds for the pathfinding to start though. Most things to interact with requires a use of left click, like opening doors, talking to NPCs, opening inventories, using items, or target enemies. Note, by the way, that if an enemy has started a move, you have to press the tile they're moving to actually target them. But to move items, press and hold left click and drag. Holding shift and right clicking, inspect things. Inspecting weapons will give you its damage range and attack speed, which means you can calculate the DPS. Weapons also have an attack value, which is how accurate it is. It competes with the enemy's block value. And the block increases your block, which is how hard it is for enemies to hit you. Armor has an additional stat apart from block, and that's defense, which reduces the incoming damage. It's worth to note that your enemy has a chance to deal a minimum of 1 damage, no matter how high your defense stat is. To deal a minimum damage, the enemy's damage roll first needs to result in 0 damage. Then it gets to roll another attack attempt against your block to deal 1 damage instead of 0. That is how you play Antiqa. Oh, and avoid a spawn fungus area of effect attacks. And I'm also curious if someone will actually collect the best gear in the game. Those being from head to toe, the plate nasal helmet, the backpack, hungering spear, shining armor, reinforced wooden round shield, and the leather boots. The best healing item is crude vital health potion or cooked fish, if those count. But But what will happen after the playtest is done? Well, the game won't be left dead in the water and unplayable. After the playtest, I will release a version of Antiqa where you can host your own server or just play local as the server. Which means the game will live on even if I carry on to do other things. I'm also playing with the idea of making a playtest somewhere in the first devlog about Mage Bane. New project I'm gonna start working on. Hopefully there will be enough players and stuff that happens so I can make a section about that. But also give you some more information about the new project. I officially started working on it, which you might have noticed in the background footage. Like mentioned, I will probably have some devlogs about it. Not so often as I release devlogs for Antiqa, but here and there. There might be more devlogs over at Jannidraws channel to fill in the blanks as well. Also worth to mention that I will start streaming game development of Mage Bane over at my Twitch channel every Wednesday at 20 in the evening or 8 PM if you are American. UTC +2 is the time zone. So please follow me there. But that's gonna be it for this devlog. Go download and try Antiqa for free, link in the description. And hopefully you're ready for some cute hack and slash in the future. Subscribe to not miss it. Anyhow, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, see ya.